So we're getting ready to glue this up, the first layer of the background. And what you're looking at right now is a set of 3 cauls that are 2x6s that have a notch cut out here, right? You'll see how the clamps go around those. I'm going to be using these clamps, very unusual clamps. They're called bow clamps. They're made by Bow Clamp. That's their name. And they're made out of maple, and they have an arch cut into the clamp. And what happens is we're going to be pressing. We need to press down uniformly across a very wide area. And normally that would take a very large number of clamps. And then the difficult part is getting clamp pressure in the center of the area. And instead, we're going to be using these bow clamps. I've got 3 of them set up here. You're going to see I'm going to put a piece of melamine on top of the veneer. And then on top of the melamine, we're going to put these 3 bow clamps. And then all I have to do is clamp both ends of the bow clamp. And what happens is the pressure, because they're bowed, as you apply pressure down, the pressure gets uniformly distributed across the length of the bow. And so that'll give us the equivalent of, I don't know, a dozen or more clamps, and especially getting pressure in the center of the picture, which is of course what we need. I've made these little riders here just to make it easy for the clamps, and so that's what we're going to do. I've also put a piece of painter's tape where the hand is cut out on the background, because I don't really want glue on that area till I'm ready to actually glue the hand, which will be the next part. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spread some glue on this plywood, and then we're going to take the background, put it on there, put the piece of melamine on top of it, and then secure it with the bow clamps. So here we go. I'm using Tight Bond number 3 glue. And let's see how that, let's see if we've got enough. I've heated up the garage till it's 60 degrees, make it easier, number 1, to work in here, and number 2, to get the glue running properly. If it gets too cold, gluing isn't all that easy. So we've got to get a nice, consistent across this area of glue. I'm using just a piece of plywood that I had laying around that I cut some notches in on the bandsaw. This is a very standard operation here. I've done this a million times with all the different pictures and what have you. So there's really nothing new here. I've got the outline drawn on the woods, so I know where the veneer is going to go. we don't want the glue to get on the portion with the hand until we actually glue the hand down naturally. And so I'm avoiding that area. Once the veneer is down, we'll pull the tape off, and then the next step will be to glue the hand down, since that's the next closest layer. Actually, come to think of it, I've been thinking about this overnight, and what we're probably going to do is do the hand after the body, actually. Come to think of it. And the reason why, thinking through that whole process, is if for some reason the body shifts, the veneer body shifts even a little bit, if I haven't glued the hand down, I can adjust the hand to fit the body. But if I have the hand glued down and the body shifts when I glue it down, we're dead, right? That means you got to pretty much start over again. So the next step is actually going to be the body after we get the background on here. And I think that'll be the safest. That way, when we do the body, if it shifts a little bit, like I said, I can always cut the area where we're going to put the hand a little bit, make that adjustment, put the hand in to match the body, and we'll still be able to achieve what it is we're trying to achieve with that. Now let me just clean that off a little bit. Okay. And we'll take the tape off after the background veneer dries. I've cut the actual tape. That tape silhouette there is actually a little smaller, so theoretically, even if the background shifts a little bit, it shouldn't. I should still be able to get the tape off. There we go. Okay. We're going to press that down a little bit before we put the clamps on. All right, now we're going to take the melamine. This is a slightly oversized to cover the entire area. And now we'll start with the bow clamps. We'll get the center one in place. you're interested in these clamps, they're actually very good. If you're interested in these clamps, you can buy them at bowclamp.com. Like I said, I've been using them now for quite a few years, probably 10 or more years. And they save on a lot of clamps for your projects. So typically what I do is on the first clamp, I put down, and then the second clamp is where I do all of the pressure. And now that one's almost set. And now all you got to do is add pressure to the second one. Get a little more on this side. Okay. Let's get that last bow clamp in place. There we go. The only thing that's important is that the bow clamp is in line. You keep it in line with the caul that you have under there. Now, in certain times, you may actually want two bow clamps opposing each other, so one underneath and one on top, but I've never actually had to use that configuration at all. I've always used it exactly like you're seeing right here. Okay, and then usually when I'm done hand tightening these, I get a vice grip, and I use a vice grip to tighten the hand clamps. And we're getting ready to do just that here. Okay, give me a second to get that vice grip. And now we'll really tighten these things up. Okay. Really, we'll let this sit for about 5 hours. What time is it now? It's almost 1, so somewhere around 6 o'clock tonight, we'll be able to take these apart and see how we did. Let's hope everything came out all right. Otherwise, we got a lot of work to repeat. I think we'll be fine. The only thing I'm really concerned about is how the pitching mound is going to come out with that light wood. Let's hope that works out well. And pretty much that's it. Okay, thanks, and we'll catch you later.